Firstly is the current tax expense. So current tax expense is really simple. Is you take your taxable income, multiply by the tax rate, which is 30%, and you subtract any offsets, with any tax offsets applicable, and that's your current tax expense. Okay, so it's basically what you need to pay to the ATO on your taxable income. If you're in a tax loss position, obviously there's nothing to pay and your current tax expense is zero. Okay. Um, if you use our software, which SW's Complete Tax Solution CTS software, if you're part of a tax consolidated group and you got a subsidiary with a loss, you will see a negative current tax expense in your journals, and you say, oh, this is inconsistent with what you just said. The reason why there's a case is that your subsidiary might be in the loss, but the group as a whole might be in a taxable income position. So when we consolidate, they offset, and you might have a positive CT current tax expense (CTE) at the end. So this is a journal which you are familiar with to post your current tax expense. Expense is debit, and credit, the other side, is current tax liability or your provision for income tax. So what about your under and over provision of tax? What is that? The under and over provision, if you look at the descriptions under 112, it is an adjustment to the current tax of a prior period. Adjustment to the current tax of a prior period. So what does it imply? It implies that there must be a change in your taxable income between when the time you prepared your tax provision calculation and the final number which you put into your tax return. There must be a change in your taxable income in those two periods. Okay. A mistake we have seen is there is no change in taxable income, but the group decided to adjust its deferred tax asset or liability balance, but it does not impact the taxable income calculation. In that case, it is not an under and over because there's no change in current tax. So it just goes into deferred tax expense in the current period. So it's just only a disclosure issue.